Welcome to a short and maybe messy bonus episode of
RyCanTopMyKnee.
We are back again with another recap of Love in the Big City. I'm Kevin.
Oh,
okay. Well,
oh, that was cute. We did it at the same time.
We did it at the same time. Here we are. Also, I think, just for context, so it is late.
This is a late bonus episode, y'all.
This is a late bonus episode.
We're doing our best for y'all during the holiday season.
Correct. We are definitely doing it and doing it well, or at least trying. Okay. But, you know what? So just because it's late, a disclaimer, we're going to probably say some stuff that doesn't make any sense, but we're going to try to be sensical with a little bit of nonsense. But things that do make sense, which we think is important considering the big revelation from episode 5, which if you have not watched a single episode yet and you're listening
of Love in the Big City, y'all,
of Love in the Big City, you need to go ahead and start because, of course, this is going to have a lot of spoilers. One of the spoilers for episode 5, but if you've been listening, you already know, Go Young was we found out Go Young is HIV positive and has been HIV positive for like 5 years.
For like the whole show, really.
Yeah, so pretty much the whole show. And we were gagged. Yeah, and his friends probably don't know as far as we know. But the reason why we want to talk about it, and before we really get into the recap, we want to make some clarifications about last week. So the first thing, because we did talk about the military, because that's how Young found out he was HIV positive, was he got some blood work, which I found out from my Korean friend who is straight, that it is routine for them to get blood work about twice a year, just for general health. So that's probably how they found out. However, my other Korean friend who also did military service and who is gay did say it is about twice a year. However, he said they only do blood work for like cholesterol, kidney, stuff like that. They do HIV tests separately. Right. So he said for STIs and HIV, it's usually separate, and they don't necessarily do that in the military. So how it came up, I don't know.
I mean, this show, we're going to see later in today's episode that there's so much holding him back because there's all these random screenings for opportunities that he wants to have.
Right. Also, I think it's important, another thing I want to mention too, before we get into it, it's important to mention that anyone who is HIV positive, especially these days, talk to your doctor about Biktarvy if you haven't already and you're not already on it, or something similar to it, so then you can be undetectable. And for those folks who are HIV negative, and for our listeners who are not queer folk or whatever it may be,
that know nothing about this,
or know nothing about this at all, pretty much what this means, if you're undetectable, that means if you're with someone who is HIV negative and you will be doing something that exchanges bedroom fluids, undetectable means untransmittable. So it can't be transmitted. U equals U, if you haven't seen that around. So that means if a person is undetectable, they can't infect you with HIV, and that's it. So that's something to consider, and that helps stop the spread. And also, it helps stop the stigma a bit too. And I think anyone who engages in sex, either anyone, if you hoeing, non-monogamous or monogamous, because
people
like
be
what
cheating,
happened with Go Young, there's some people that be cheating. If you have access to PrEP, get on it. If you have access to any kind of STI preventative medication or HVI or PrEP, get on it. Talk to your doctor about it if you're able to. We did put together a resource that is a living document.
Breathing document. So
we're adding to it.
Periodically updating it with more information. We're just getting started, but, you know, it's just a little something, because it's important to talk about as we go through this show together.
Yes. Know your resources, and we want to help bring that to you and try to make it as accessible as possible as we're able to possibly do it based on the resources we have. We know that we have listeners from
all over the world,
40-ish countries. And unfortunately, not all of those countries have access to that. But we're going to try our best to figure out ways for you to get access to things if you're able. We will try. We're going to try. And the more information we get, we'll make sure to share it with y'all. So, with that said,
should we get into this review?
Yes. Okay.
Here we go, episode 6, Kevin. Oh, we're almost done.
We're almost done. We only got
I don't want
2 more episodes after this. Oh my gosh, we're really getting into this.
We're gonna be done like right by New Year's. Kind of crazy.
Yes, which is good. And then so so really, the first scene we see is this slightly animated map of Seoul with Young and Kyuho, which I was like, this is really cute. And it was kind of like all the places that they have gone and wanted to go and all of that. And I could not help but think about, remember Namkyu? And it's interesting
it is kind of like that. They're kind of, right? Like the subtitle said, like, what, the gentrification of Seoul?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure exactly what they meant, but I guess I know what they meant too.
They're like just they're doing so much and they're just doing everything they could, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, and I just loved that. To me, it's like Namkyu, despite by this point being deceased, is still living.
The way you said that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, Namkyu is dead.
Despite being deceased.
He is. Like, I mean, I don't know how.
He had some good pointers with that list.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm going to say is he's still living in the show, because it's almost as if,
I wish he's brought up more, but yes.
Yeah, and I mean, breadcrumbs are being left. Like, I feel as if there are little things that Young keeps doing that I think he learned from Namkyu, despite the fact, that it's been years now since Namkyu has been dead.
Like, that was college.
Yeah, so he's picked up some stuff, and it's still with him, And I think that's, in a way, kind of telling us how, like, and I might be going too deep, but maybe I'm not.
Going so deep so early, Kevin. This is the lighter part of the episode. We're doing lovebirds.
I know, but this is kind of like, when someone has an impact on your life, even when they're out of your life, however that may be, you're still going to have a little piece of them in your heart somewhere. And I think that's what it's kind of showing us here. When every episode, there's been a little bit of Namkyu that's popped up, either subtly or he was mentioned, and this was one of those subtle things. But they're in love. Okay,
reflection.
So
they're very much in love right now. It's really cute.
Yeah,
and right off the bat, like, we start off, Young is like showing off Yuho to his friends, to his little family squad here.
Yes,
they all love him.
They do. I love how he said that his friends are tactless but good guys,
and I agree very much. Very much agree.
I mean, man.
It was like right on the nose.
Right on the nose. Right on it.
But yeah, it's cute. And then we bring up the topic of, like, Go Young is saying, yeah, I'm still on the job market. I'm still looking for jobs. And Giho's like, no, why don't you tell your friends that you already have a job? that you landed one and you're in the process of like starting. And then we go through this whole conversation, which I really didn't know, like, that you really have to get blood work to start a job, like STD, HIV, STI, HIV testing for like a desk job. I'm so confused.
I think that's a Korean thing, and I don't think that's necessarily.
I'd be like,
standard.
that would not fly in
here
America.
That is open for discrimination, and I mean, we have to also, preface that in Korea for resumes you put your picture on the resume. So they already know what you look like, because appearances are everything.
I mean, it's not like you're putting your blood type on there too. I get, well, sometimes they do. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes they do, because
that goes into, like,
there's also a theory
like astronomy and right,
like, exactly,
character types and archetypes based on everything. But
any of our Korean listeners, if we get anything wrong, please just
let us know.
Let us know, because I might have lived there, and I can speak from my experiences as a Black person living in Korea, but I'm not Korean, okay? So if you are Korean and you grew up, born and raised in Korea, come on.
Is this still happening? Like, was this like a certain period of time?
Well, it had to be around 2020.
Yeah,
so
but
it wasn't
maybe they
that
can
long
be.
Ago.
I know, but maybe, they're just like stretching things a little bit. Like, was this maybe during the AIDS pandemic that has spread around the world that they really wanted this information? Or is this still like the stigma of...
Because if it was around the AIDS pandemic, that was the 80s and 90s.
I know, but I meant like, was that implemented...
Born.
I know, I'm just saying, was it implemented back then? It just stayed in Korea?
Oh, like, I see. As in, it's kind of like a legacy.
Like, now it's just like the standard, like, yeah, you just they check everything. And it's like, but why? Why would you need to check that? That's wild.
It could be. I don't know. It could be. I will say, in my experience, again, I feel as if, despite Korea being more conservative as a culture, when it comes to progress, they're pretty fast compared to the U.S. Like, the U.S. takes forever to do anything. In Korea, they're like, boom, it's done.
I mean, we're seeing right now, boom, impeached.
Okay, impeachment happened in under 2 weeks. Unlike in... with Trump, he was impeached and was still able to go ahead and still do stuff. President Yoon is suspended from his job, so he can't do anything until... Immediately. So he is suspended. He can't do nothing. Unlike Trump was still doing stuff and being chaotic. Anywho, we almost got off track, but that's okay. We had to do that on the show anyway. So... I also love how, Young is Tabby. That's
I know. I was like, where did this nickname come from? Tabby, like a tabby cat? I guess it is a tabby cat.
I guess he does act like a cat. Moody.
He does give cat energy, very much.
Yeah, moody, and then likes to cuddle every now and then. I will tell you today, I was in a cafe, and somebody brought their cat, and that cat was right up behind me as I was trying to do some work.
On a leash?
No.
Just like loose cat in the cafe?
Loosey goosey. I mean, they were holding the cat, but still, it was weird. And I'm like,
how about one stray paw and it's over.
Right. And I was like, swinging. Is this cat hyperallergenic? Like,
does this cat got they shots?
Right. Is this shedding into coffee? Like, that was kind of the stuff that was going through my head. So I had to move to another part of the cafe because I was like, I can't do this.
People too comfortable. Too comfortable.
Way too comfortable. Anywho, but I thought it was cute. I was really like, not the cat at the cafe,
but
Young
the
being
tabby that
Tabby.
is Go Young.
Yes, I thought
I know
that
it's
was
very
cute.
Yes,
very cute.
But also, what is your understanding of Go Young's new job? Because I still don't understand what it was.
I'm not sure. I was trying to figure out because I saw the name of it. I'm like, trading company.
Trading, and I'm like, is
daily
he doing
trading
like,
company?
Like, what is he doing? It's like B2B marketing or B2B like something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, and I need to know a little bit more. Like, is he what? I is it a publishing company? I want to know what it is.
It seems like it's something completely different from like what he wants to do, but it's also still like some kind of form of writing that his boss had to be like, you're trash. But anyway, that's skipping ahead.
That is skipping ahead a little bit, but
they're scared
not
of
too far ahead.
This HIV test that he has to do before he starts work.
Right. So Hyuho goes ahead and
He's like,
because he
we kind of
low-key
look
looks like
alike.
him, I
And I
guess.
was like, I don't see it, but in that one specific shot with the with that mirror, and he
Right.
like split his hair a different way, I was like, I can kind of see it.
Okay, maybe it could
A
work. You know,
shorter, a
maybe.
shorter little version. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
was like, maybe this could work. So he goes ahead, styles his hair like his, kinda. And then he goes to do his blood test because they're the same blood type. And of course, he's negative. So there you go. And boom, Young is working. He's a working man. You know, working overtime, dedicated
I
to
mean,
you. Well,
even
he wasn't that
oh my
dedicated.
god, he was not dedicated. But also now just thinking, if you enlisted and they caught that on your record when you enlisted enough to discharge you, like would that stay on your like medical record?
It'll probably be on his medical record, but it seems as if
For
they're not asking for his medical
they're
records
asking
for
for
that
like a
job.
yeah,
They're
I don't
asking for a
know.
fresh test. I don't
I don't
know.
know how this all works, y'all. That just there's some HIPAA going on. This no.
Well, HIPAA applies in the U.S., not in
I
Korea.
know. Um,
Anyway, so then I guess after work, they're supposed to meet at Haewa Station once again, you know, where they
mm-hmm,
met before. And, Kyuho is coming all the way from Incheon and is an
mm-hmm.
hour late. And again, Incheon is far. That's up by the airport. So,
I
and I think I
know.
told you that, like, it is far, far. So,
But now we see that some time has passed because Gyuho now is working. He's, I guess, finished school and he's like doing his residency or something. He's like a nurse's
he's a
aide right
nurse's
now.
aide, right? But yeah, they were fighting, and it seems as if like that was indicative of where the relationship is at. It was
I mean,
nice.
it's not long distance, but I don't know. People be like, oh, I gotta travel an hour to meet you,
Right.
like, and you never want to come meet me. I always gotta go to
Mm,
you. So he's like working his nursing job and then late nights also
you know,
transporting all the way over here to
I'm
go
also like, though,
hooking.
why would he go over there when you said Incheon is boring and you live with your brother who's clogging toilets?
Ooh. Hey,
Like,
we'll find that out later. But yeah, that
yeah,
is
but I'm
crazy.
just sitting here
That's
like,
nasty.
come on.
But then
Like,
I'm like, wait, so you couldn't like get a job as a nurse's aide over here in Seoul? Like, come on.
yeah, I don't know. So, anywho, um, we then get to, you know, cut to when he's at the hospital working with the difficult grandpa, which
Hmm.
I didn't think this grandpa was difficult to me. He seemed really sweet.
I mean, he was just like, girl, I ain't got nothing left. And it'd be like that sometimes. Be like, I
Right.
peed this morning. I peed before I left home. Sorry. I can
Yeah.
hold
I
it.
mean, sometimes it's like that. And I was like, I guess he's Mr. Difficult, but he was able to get blood work out of him. He
I
developed
mean,
a
right there
rapport.
at that moment where he was like, I'm so sorry, this is all I can, pee right now. And
Hmm.
then he just like gave him a look. I was like, is he gonna like also do this like urine test for this old man?
Right.
I was going down like a whole like rabbit hole of, oh, he's gonna start like helping out patients and this is how he's gonna lose his job.
Oh
And
my
then he's gonna
gosh.
and
And
then he's gonna
luckily
like,
that did not
yeah,
happen.
like that did not happen. But I really thought, oh my god, like that's where this episode's going. Like, he's gonna lose
Did
his
not
job, he's gonna lose his
happen.
like medical license, whatever. He's gonna be like a bum on Goyon's couch and that's how they're gonna break up.
I'm glad it did not go to that level.
That would have been so messy.
That would have been a
So
hot ass
messy.
mess. A hot ass mess. So I mean, I like mess, but I was not. That was not the kind of mess I wanted to see in the show. At least
Yeah.
not now. So over dinner, we see that Kyuho is saving for his own place, which
He's
I
still
thought that was interesting.
yeah, that he's still keeping his club job, his bartending job.
Right, and he was gonna be overworked, and that's when you know, Young was like, "Don't do that."
He was like, "You're gonna drive yourself crazy." Because
right,
yeah,
you
how do you
doing the
do
most.
full time nursing, and then what after hours be like, "All right, time to hit the bar until
Right.
5 a.m." Like that's insane.
That's a lot, But I think I understood Kyuho's mentality of
He really just
never
wants to
really
move out and
having his
save up.
own.
And
You
yeah,
know,
he had a big
never.
conversation about wanting his own space.
Right. Never really having his own. He was living at home with his parents, then living at home with his brother. And then we find out the last straw was the brother eating up all the damn ribs and then flushing the ribs down the toilet and creating a flood in the apartment.
I was like, this is your older brother. What is going on?
Like, this dude is not well.
Why are you flushing bones down the toilet?
Like, who does that?
I was like, was he drunk or something? I don't know in what world would you do that.
Yeah, that would piss me off so much.
That would honestly have me pack my bag. I'm like, you're cleaning this shit up, literally.
And he did, and they decided to, and Young was like, just move in, and they cohabitated. Low-key, I'm kind of like, y'all should have done this a long time ago, but whatever.
Well, we didn't know the timeline. Yeah, like the start of the show, they made it seem like they've only been together for like 2 months or something, like they're 100 days or something. Mm-hmm. And then later on,
we find out later on how long.
We've seen that it's been a year.
Yes.
Like, oh, this is your longest relationship already.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
time is flowing.
I thought it was cute that in the moving truck they got pretty cozy with the driver in there.
I know. I was like, is this your friend or are you just being out and open like in front of this like U-Haul driver at like 1 a.m?
I guess the driver was like, I'm not looking at this. I got a road to look at. He's like,
the driver
whatever.
Said, go off gaze as long as the
he
car
probably didn't even notice.
swipes.
And low-key, he could have probably thought they were drunk. Who knows?
Maybe.
I will say, again, the things I have seen straight Korean men do with each other. It's sometimes they're like, oh, look at these
two Hyungs here. Oh my god, so cute.
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty sus, like, not gonna lie. I will say there have been times that your boy has rested heads on stomachs.
Not rested heads, yo. That sounds crazy.
I have, and I mean other people were around, and
now,
no one cared.
Which heads are we talking about? Which heads are we talking about?
I'm talking about the head that's attached to my neck. Okay, not any other head.
Not the other neck. Got it.
And on somebody's stomach. Okay, and yeah, I don't know.
All right.
People thought there was something happening between us, but there was really
I would
nothing,
too.
Because he had a whole girlfriend. So, and I was like,
what's a girlfriend?
Not into him like that. It was just that his stomach was there. There was no pillow, and that's just what happened, and that's it. I was tired, and he didn't feel like moving, and all he said was, "No one take a picture."
Speaking of moving,
anyhow,
they move in together, yeah, and it's real cute. They're like moving furniture. It's real domestic.
Yeah,
first time boyfriends moving in together. Mm-hmm. But then we see that like they're sleeping in separate beds. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to Gyuho wanting to have his own
space.
But also, I was like,
is his bed so small? It's a full, I think. They've slept on it before.
Yeah, and it's not. They've done other things on that bed before,
right?
Too.
Right.
So part of me is like, there's something not meshing here. Something is off, and I was beginning to sense that. But however,
there was the start of like already.
Right. However, I will say, whenever my next relationship is, I'm actually okay with having separate rooms.
Don't move into a studio. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Take it from my experience. Don't move into a studio.
I know what you're trying to say, and I'm not going to say nothing else.
Oh, he probably listening right now. But I don't know. This episode was very reminiscent of a current situation.
But I do not mind having separate rooms with my partner because what if my partner snores? What if I snore? Because sometimes I do. Sometimes you just need to have a good night's rest.
One of them was snoring in this episode. I could have swore.
I think it was Young because he old.
Yeah. So I thought maybe that was why he's sleeping on the bed on the floor by himself.
But I'm like, you can still hear him snore. You're in the same room. So anyway, we see them go ahead and rearranging furniture to make it a home for two, right? Because it's been mostly Young's place.
I mean, honestly, if he made it work with Mie in this apartment, then he can do it with Gyuho.
Right. And it was so funny. Like, Mie left traces of herself, too. Her panties.
I was like, you haven't touched that corner in so long that you found some lingerie?
And it's been years. Her panties were just stuck in there. And it's like, girl. And I low-key want to say, girl, what were you doing?
Right? Because I thought they had a rule about not bringing boys back to the apartment.
But maybe that was even from before he even moved in. Which, that's even more wild. That she just forgot about it.
It was a one-time thing.
Yeah, she just literally forgot. Later that night, you see them sipping beers while looking out the window, having a little conversation. It seemed as if, like, I don't know. Like, I still felt as if things felt off. You know, did you?
They show, like, these nights where Go Young is, like, so focused on his writing.
Yes.
And Gyuho is, like, you know, they're trying to find, like, a balance in this apartment. Mm-hmm. But Go Young is like, you know, you're messing things up in this apartment, you know. It showed, like, what? Like, he's doing laundry, and he's like, I told you to open the windows. Like, why is it so, like, it's so humid
smelling
in here?
Dank. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot, like, in Korea, like, people use, like, dehumidifiers and, like, a lot of, like, what are those little packets for your clothes in the closet? Because everything can get real musty.
It can. But yeah, he didn't open the windows, you know.
Yeah, and then he saw, like, the one, like, about to be empty water bottle in the fridge, and I know she snapped inside a little.
You could tell he was irritated, you know.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
We did kind of jump ahead, but I will say, like, we know by this point, Kyuho started being a nurse's aide full time. Young had settled into his job. His boss wants to make him permanent, which is nice.
This whole boss situation, like, tell me, I don't understand what's going on.
You know what? She low-key reminds me of his mom. Low-key. Like, I was kind of sensing when I first saw her, I was like, she kind of looks like his mom, and I was like, wait, it's definitely not her.
It's not her.
But
yeah, the first thing he submitted, she was like, this is ass. This is your best? And he's like...
Yeah, she was... And that's the same kind of energy his mom would give. Like, pretty shady.
But he gave it right back. He was like, yeah, girl, that's my best. And what?
Yeah. So it's like, I feel that dynamic is similar to the dynamic he had with his mom. You know,
and
so
I think that's why she liked him.
Yeah, that's because like, I don't think anyone else talks to her like that. Yeah. You know? Later at night, they got home. Young is yelling. And I don't like that. Like, I know you had a long day and you irritated.
It'd be like that, Kevin. It'd be like that.
Like, I don't do the yelling. Like, I had somebody try to yell at me on the first date / encounter. It was a big turn off. I don't do the yelling, you know. And
I know, but like, you know, months and years down the line, you're gonna be like.
And I mean, I would say with my last, in my last relationship, I guarantee you, my ex will say I never yelled. Now he might have yelled one time.
Ooh.
Actually, no, he didn't yell at me, but he said some nasty stuff. And
I mean, you talk pretty loudly already, so
I already talk. I
don't even see you yelling.
But I don't yell at people. Instead, what happens is if I'm really irritated, my voice gets lower, and it can turn into a whisper, and then I read you for filth with that. Oh. But I don't do that very often because
I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared.
I don't do that very often because it takes a lot to really piss me off. But I don't like the yelling. I don't like that. And the fact that Young was saying that the relationship was beginning to feel dull, I was like, this is where I was getting a little irritated with Young because I'm like,
they just didn't talk about their issues, but he was writing it all in his little. Like, I love how every relationship he's, like, writing a whole novel for it. And I guess it all goes into, like, you know, the whole book that is Love in the Big City. But,
right.
Like, you know.
But where this fell off, because with that thing, you know, before, and with Namkyu, there was at least, I remember his name. I'm just calling him that thing.
Oh, my God.
There was at least
they talked
conversation.
About it. Yeah. He got angry. He talked about it. He would bring it up to them.
Yeah. And in this case, I'm like, why are you not telling him?
He's done a 180.
Yeah.
With this relationship.
Why are you not telling him how you're feeling. Why are you not saying anything?
I think he doesn't want to mess it up. Maybe he's like, let me hold back. And he's also like, I'm the older one. I should, I don't know, just kind of compartmentalize everything.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. But I was like, I'm not liking this vibe. And then they're at the cafe the next day. Mm-hmm. Young is there typing away, which we do know that I think a scene or two before, he did say that he prefers to do stuff at the cafe for a little bit because he can't focus at home because it smells dank. So
I'm like, how much laundry y'all doing? Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, y'all not fucking. So clearly it's not for that reason.
I was like, y'all need some better detergent. Like, why is this so
Yeah, it's like, what the hell y'all using?
Right?
Anyway, that conversation at the cafe got heated. And I didn't like that either because, again, it was not a constructive conversation. There was not any real communication in that. It was just Young getting frustrated because the relationship was dull. But then he wasn't really giving any ideas or allowing Kyu-ho to really, express how he felt. You know what I mean? I didn't like the way that conversation went.
It was his frustration with work. He's like, I am at this job, slaving away, doing this job that I really don't want to do. And you get to be advancing in your career. Now you're about to be, later on we see that he's about to be head nurse. And, like, you're doing what you want to do. And I am stuck here having to do a day job that I don't like. And then at night I'm writing away. And then you get mad at me for writing. And then so he's like, I don't know what to do. And Kyu-ho's like, well, what can I do for you? And he's like, girl, nothing.
And see, and that's why I'm like, that's why I was really frustrated. I was like, I don't think this relationship is going to last. And I'm really kind of sad about it, because I really want a win for Young. I really want him to, I want him to have a win.
I want him to be happy. But I think also, he needs his own personal journey on his own, what he wants to do in life,
Right. So then later he meets with the girlies and he expresses to them what his issue is. And that's when we find out that it's been 4 months since the last time a penis went into a hole.
Ooh! Or just anything, probably. Any kind of...
Any kind of intimacy.
And that they've been dating for over a year already.
Yeah. And
I was like, wow.
And I was like, a year of dating, and the last 4 months, y'all have done...
It's been dry.
Nothing intimate. Like... Clearly the relationship needs some lubrication. Like, this is crazy. So
that's what the friend says. What's his name?
Yeah, that is crazy. So Jitae suggested that they go on a trip to kind of rekindle everything. And at the laundromat, I guess because he didn't want the house to be dank.
I know he's trying to make an effort to change. He's like, you know what? Yeah, let me go do laundry down the block. Which is like, oh, y'all have a laundromat down the block, then.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Kyu-ho is trying his best in the relationship with the information he's being given. And Young is not giving enough information to really express what he wants. So you see that Kyu-ho is trying, at least.
He's having a midlife crisis.
Clearly, and I'm like, you're not even 30 yet. You better calm down.
He's about to be.
Right.
I feel you go, Young.
Young wants to go to Bangkok. We find out Kyu-ho doesn't even have a passport and he's never been abroad.
But I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, they're going to Thailand.
Yes.
The Thai crossover.
So they ended up going to the land of BLs and they did BL things in the bathtub all night.
Oh my
God.
All
night.
They was getting freaky in that tub.
Yeah, they said, ooh-wee, got Gucci, coochie, coochie.
Ew, Kevin. Oh my God.
That's a Cupcake song. You ever heard that song before?
Yup, and that's exactly what they did. Yup.
Yes.
That's exactly what was happening.
Ooh-wee. Yes. But they needed that vacation because they needed... something.
They needed that
to
release.
Take them out of the norm. Yes, they needed that release.
And Thailand just, the land of BL, the land of the gay.
Right. And
We got to see them be so openly gay and like so much PDA, and they just looked so happy.
Yes, they were even on the ground in the rain, which I would never do. I mean, I'm pretty sure Thailand is cleaner. Like, Bangkok is probably a little cleaner than New York City, like a little bit.
But maybe just a little bit, but no, the streets were still a little nasty.
Yeah,
I mean, probably like where they were, like if they were by the river, like they took a boat, probably to go to like the other side of the river, and it's still like, I don't know, it's a city, and like there is like a little dirtier side. Like New York, you'll see a bunch of trash, but there is just mysterious puddles and stuff.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm not putting my body on the ground like that. Like, absolutely not. But
I mean, I guess it was the rainy season. I guess they went there and like I did, yeah.
Yeah, the double rainbow was cute. You know,
it was cute.
I love that.
They're enjoying this moment on the ground together, holding hands, enjoying the rain. And Goyeon's like, I hope the rain isn't acidic, or else we're gonna go bald.
Right.
I was like, that's so funny.
Right.
And then he's like, if you go bald, like, I'll still like you. Even if you're bald.
Yes. They gonna be bald together.
Two baldies.
Two baldies. Shining like bowling balls.
Not bowling balls.
So then they go to the club and
wait, you missed the whole important part.
What?
Kevin, you didn't remember that part where they have like a real touching heart to heart while laying on the ground.
Didn't we just talk about that?
I know, but Goyeon asked him, like, he's like, did you, like, when I told you about Kylie, like, were you really okay with it? And Gyuho's like, yeah, like, it, like, with or without it, like, you're still you. So, and I like you, so.
Yes.
And I was like,
and that, and see, that's a beautiful moment that they had, because.
And this is why I was like, do not lose this man. Why are you fucking it up?
Yeah, Young was really fucking it up, because
they had this beautiful moment in Thailand. Like, why are you fucking it up?
And like I said, Kyuho was trying it. You know, he was really trying. Not trying it. He was really trying.
He's trying it.
So,
yeah, they have this club scene, which is the poster of the show.
Scene, and it was packed in there. And I mean, for me, that's too many damn people.
Oh, but that was yeah, it'd be like that, girl.
Yeah, that was too many people, and I can't do that. However, the one thing I loved was you could tell they felt like they were the only ones in the room.
Oh, they were living their best life. Like, they can finally be as open as possible.
Right. But then they go back home. Back to the routine.
You gotta break reality. I mean, not break it. You gotta break the illusion.
Right. And then I'm sitting here like, y'all need to spice things up at home. Like, what y'all doing? You know, and then I think Gyuho gets tired at some point and takes his whole suitcase.
I was screaming at this point. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, and then I'm like, is he moving? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I was like, Goyeon's not even turning his head.
Not even turning his head, nothing, not paying attention. Mm-hmm. And then
dude is sitting on the stoop and he's swiping on Grindr, talking about, I need a place to sleep tonight. Somebody help.
Yeah, that was not Grindr. That was Tinder.
It was something.
Yeah,
I mean, people posting just shirtless torsos on Tinder. I guess in Korea.
Too. Yeah, people do that even here too. They do that too. Like,
here it'll be like a black profile and be like selling.
Yeah, they do that here too, though. I've seen a lot of headless torsos
on Tinder. That's wild.
Well, I don't use Tinder, but I've seen on other people's Tinder.
I don't know. I've never seen that, but
yeah. But I mean, also, you haven't been on Tinder in how long?
Anyways, so
exactly.
Anyways, yeah, but I was like,
I'm kind of like
fighting that hard. They're fighting that much that he's at that limit to pack a bag and be like, I'm about to leave right now.
Yeah, and almost cheated. I don't think he went through because
not
he
even
came
cheating.
back.
Like, he was fully about to just be like, I'm leaving forever.
Right. So then fast forward to Gyuho finally is officially a nurse.
Wait, you skipped that he fully just like went back upstairs. He like got some beer.
I just said that. Oh. See, I told y'all we gonna have Kevin some nonsense because we are tired and it's late. So we gonna forget.
I feel like you're flying through this, and I'm here like no, taking.
Yeah, but I literally said that he went back to the apartment. You missed that part, but that's okay. It's late. Anywho, so now we find out Gyuho is officially a nurse.
Yes, he is.
And
a head nurse.
Head nurse. And not a head doctor. That's a whole different thing. If you know what I'm saying.
You know gays in their nursing hood.
Some people, their nickname is the head doctor because they do certain things for the head. Anyway, so he is getting an opportunity to move to China. So, and see, this is another place where Young fucks up. Instead of saying, like, I don't want you to move, he starts saying, you don't like spicy food. You don't be liking that mala hot pot, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't want him to leave.
He's just being, like, the older adult here to be like, girl, like, think about it. Like, do you even like Chinese food? Like,
yeah.
You're about to go to a new country.
This is the moment where you could be tender about it. You know, you could
be... things have been tense for a while. So he's like... BFFR girl.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, instead of being too harsh, there's a moment you could be tender instead of tense. You know, y'all had so many ups and downs, but then Young was like, I guess they have this conversation, and Young is thinking he's gonna move with him to Shanghai.
I mean, he's like, yeah, would you want to come with me? And he's like, I'll do it. I'll go with you.
Yeah, which I was hoping that would work.
I knew it wasn't gonna happen.
I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I wanted it to happen. I wanted it to happen.
I feel like they could have made it happen.
They could have. Well, they could have. But, and I mean, I love how they were going to Mandarin classes. You could hear them in the street going like, ni hao ma. You know, they were all going around. This is so cute. I'm like, y'all better get together, get all this Mandarin together.
They're really putting in the work. I was like, they're really dead ass about this. Like,
and they were excited about it. And you could see, I was like, finally, this relationship is, it's going somewhere. Like, this might be it, But then Kylie once again
this is insane. Like,
and I'm like, so
for a job transfer.
Yes, and I will say that for China, they do HIV screenings for certain things that I know.
I know, but like, you're just like, is this needed? Like, he's already at this company, and he's just looking for like a location transfer to the like Chinese branch, and they still need like an up to date like HIV STI test.
Yeah, and I think that's because of the rules China has. So this is where I was like, man, instead of saying they gave it to someone else who's married with kids or all of that, which...
That is what he said, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what ended up happening because he ended up not even applying because he saw that rule for the HIV.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't. And it's kind of like, why didn't you just tell Gyuho this came up again? And this is where, like...
There's nothing he can do about it. So he's like, I rather, instead of having this be blamed on me, let me just say it was an outside force of, like... I just didn't get the job. It just wasn't chosen. Rather than having to redirect the issue back on Kylie.
Yeah. But I think, Gyuho would have been understanding.
He would have been understanding.
And that's the thing. Gyuho would have been understanding. Because Gyuho has been very understanding throughout this whole relationship. Or at least has been trying to. So Gyuho ends up going to China alone. What did you think about the name saying, like, you're the world's dirtiest joke? What did you think about that?
I was really gagged at this ending. Because we see in those final scenes where they're going to the airport, everything, even packing the bags.
Well, like, I'm saying he said this in the bed before they started packing.
Oh, like, it's brought up again, like, from the first time they talked at that bar, right, where he was like, you're hilarious, right? I forgot what he said last episode. He was like, you're so funny. But then he said, like, your jokes are also so dirty. and that felt like flirtatious, and that felt like so like, I don't know, you're so different and you're so witty. To hear like, I don't know, it felt like the complete opposite. I don't know.
Yeah, see,
because he's like using that dirty humor to hide his pain. You know, he's using that comedy.
Yeah, and then the next day they do start making their way to the airport. They're on line 1. I recognize that right away.
Oh.
Low key side note, line 1 is the in the Seoul metro system. That is the line where the craziest things happen, and I'm talking about crazy for Seoul, not crazy for New York.
I'm like, what's the craziest thing to happen?
So crazy
like
for Seoul is where you might have people like you might have a few people trying to give you stuff from like the church, you know, or
so a normal train ride.
because on a typical train ride in Korea, you're sitting there, people
in silence. No.
Not in silence. That's in Japan. In Korea, it's not. It's in silence if it's during rush hour, but if it's like a normal time of any off-peak time, people are usually if they're talking, it's usually in a lower voice. They're not like being loud, and that's it. You know, pretty chill. Like you can talk to your friend a little bit. You're not answering the phone. You're texting. Like it's quiet, but it's not dead silent. In Tokyo, it's dead silent. But other than that, like I thought was like, oh, this is line 1. This is the big one. This is the circle line. So that's why everyone and their mama is on this line.
It didn't even look that packed, but yeah, there was no seats.
It wasn't that packed because it was off.
So they had to sit separately.
Right. It was off peak, but it wasn't like rush hour where it's super packed. And once they were sitting in separate seats, it's like, I see what Young is doing.
He's slowly starting to like separate. He's like, you're pushing him away already.
Yeah.
Like this whole trip is already kind of a way to push him away.
Yeah, it's like, can you at least savor those last moments together?
Literally, Yuho wants to save this last hour with you before he hops on this flight. And you're already like, no, go sit down over there.
And
then
Yuho
you look
just
away.
puts on his headphones.
Yeah. And then at the airport, too, where he's like...
how he said, if you meet a local, you'll pick up the language quicker. And I'm like, those are breakup words.
Literally, he's like, why do you keep making these jokes? Like...
Yeah, and you can tell Young is like smiling really hard
through the pain. Like I was waiting for him to break.
Cry. Yeah, and I was waiting for him too. And I was so frustrated with Young because by this point, Yuho is trying to have cute moments, and he gets frustrated. He's eating this little sandwich or whatever this thing is. It looks
like a jelly
burger.
donut. It's like a jelly donut.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't think it was jelly. It didn't look like jelly. It looked
there
like
was something
meat.
inside. It was like some kind of dessert, no?
No, it looked like a burger.
Oh, it was something. He's eating this pastry.
He's eating whatever that has bread. And, you know, at some point, Yuho just throws it at him.
Because homeboy is like, are we breaking up? And Go-Yeon's like... I can't answer questions, you know. I can't answer these questions when you're over there. So, like, stop asking questions. And I'd be like, oh, my God.
And I thought Yuho was going to go to the bathroom. Nope, he boards his flight. And that's it. Doesn't even say goodbye. Nothing.
I feel like Go-Yeon keeps doing this, like, repeated. I was like, is this Korean culture? Or is this Go-Yeon, like, not being able to end a relationship properly? Like, everything has to be, like... I have to make you hate me, right? Like we saw that early before. There's like some person has to like hate the other person, like, and Youngsu, like Youngsu was trying to make him hate him to end the relationship, and Namgyu, like Go-Yeon to Namgyu was like trying to make him hate him to kind of end the relationship. Like they can never have a full conversation. I
don't know if this is necessarily a Korean thing. I will say though, this is
a K-drama thing.
The way I think this is how. This is the cards that Young was dealt. You know, like he's had too many. Like I still think the person that loved him the most was Namkyu, even though he was doing the most.
I mean, this guy right here loves him. That is willing to love him through the Kylie, through the job hunt, through the
love him for all of him,
even willing to wait for him. He's like willing to wait the year or two, while away.
And this is the first time I would have to say, Young honestly fucked it up.
I don't think this is over. This can't be his end. He can't be ending the show single. We have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to end the show single, but I do think
there's going to be a time jump or something.
There's probably going to be a time jump, and I do think he fucked this relationship up. Like, he could have ended this better. There could have also been the option of doing long distance. China not that far from Korea.
He didn't need to end it, or like he I don't know. Why did he even get this day job?
Yeah, there's just didn't seem like he needed
money before, but now all of a sudden he's like really like itching for money. Like they're kind of dual income in this studio apartment that's so small right by campus. Like the rent can't be that expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things that
he could have gotten a job doing writing in China, or I don't know, or teaching Korean. I don't know.
He could have figured out something. But I mean, also getting into China is not that easy. Trust me, I know. But I
doubt he would have to take a HIV test.
I mean, I didn't. But I will say that you'd still have to get a visa and all of that, you know.
I mean, that's what he was trying to do the work.
Yeah. But I feel as if, you know, the issue is, I think also Young was kind of already kind of done with the relationship.
I think he sees the challenges that are there and he doesn't want to fight for it, and he sees how Kylie is like holding him back from opportunities, so he doesn't want to hold back Gyuho too.
I think that was part of it as well. He's just
like, he sees himself as like, you know, stilted or damaged, and so he's just like, I can't, you know, this is as far as I can go.
Yeah.
And
part of me is like, he didn't do that with that thing.
Of course, they weren't that deep into it. They were only like 2 months.
Yeah,
he wasn't living with him like for a year already. Like,
true. But yeah, I don't know. I still think Young effed this up. He could have done this better.
He did, definitely.
He could have done this better. And he did it horribly.
He was scared. He was scared.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, with Namkyu, he was scared. Granted, Namkyu was doing the most, so I get it, because that was a little too much. Like, you can't be with somebody for 2 weeks and then you throw in trying to marry them. Like, that's a lot.
And then Young-soo was very scared.
Yeah, but that was Young wanting to be with Young-soo with that thing, and Young-soo wanting to have his cake and eat it. You know? And low-key, Young was given a little bit of Young-soo this time around. It wasn't as dramatic, because of course he was not a closet. Clearly, Young is not a closeted
no, but he also did it with Namyu too, where he was the one to be like, I don't like you, we're just so different. Like, let's just break up already. Like, he went back to that. He went into like a weird middle where he was just like cold to him. Like, he was like, you know, cutting it off with a smile. That's why I was like the world's dirtiest jokester at the end.
Yeah, but I think what I feel is if what's similar to Young-soo is, how do I even say this?
Like the lying to yourself? The denial.
The denial, the lying to yourself, when really, you know, you wanted that boy to stay. You know,
of course, you wanted to go with him. You wanted to
go with him.
You wanted to make him stay and find it to make it work, but you didn't think you were worth it or something.
Exactly. And Young-soo realized he wasn't worth it at some point, you know, even though what Young-soo did to Young was way trashier than what Young did to Gyuho. But it kind of is in the same vein. And granted, the relationship Young had with Gyuho was a lot longer and definitely deeper. But
They're gonna get back together. I just know it.
You think so?
It has to be a happy ending. Korea, please.
So you think with a little bit of space and growth, they might get back together in those last couple of episodes?
Yes, they have to.
Or do you think Young is gonna find somebody else?
No, this is the last boy. I think this is the last boy.
Well, we got 2 episodes left. Let's see.
2 episodes left.
Well, anywho. That is it for this mini episode of RyCanTopMyKnee. Be safe. It's late. We going to bed.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. And please make sure that you properly take care of your knee, or it's going to hurt really bad.
Boy. Well, I hope the hoe in your life tops your knee.
Not a hoe.
Marilyn
Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, hey! Cupcake, come to the podcast.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.